Today, on Florida Sportsman Best Boat, we're featuring the supersized center consoles, boats in the 33 to 35 foot class range, boats which give you the speed to outrun flybridge boats and the sea-keeping ability to venture out on rough days. Some key features to look for in this class are an uncluttered cockpit. You want room for several anglers, coolers, and more, a freezer refrigerator, a huge bonus on overnight trips, multiple and large insulated fish boxes. Being able to overnight on your boat and still maintain 360-degree walk-around capability is extra special. Easy access to all of your systems is very important. Being able to cook your catch on overnight trips is what you may remember most from a trip. Having a sharp entry, deep V boat is mandatory in this class. Forward seating keeps the rest of the family happy and comfortable while you're fishing. If you've had large inboard sportfish boats and want a boat that can fish the same waters yet still have the ease of maintenance and handling of a 30-foot center console, a large dual or triple powered outboard in the 33-foot to 35-foot range may be the best boat for you. Join our hosts, Dave East and Rick Riles, as we feature 3 center consoles that are capable of taking you far beyond the continental shelf. Belzona 327 Walkaround, Dusky 33 Open Fisherman, and the Cobia 340cc. They'll be conducting walkthroughs, test drives, and reviewing key features, all to help you decide if this is the best boat for you.
Hi, I'm Dave East, boating editor of Florida Sports, and welcome to this edition of Best Boat.
Hi, I'm Rick Riles, the program director for Florida Sportsman. And Dave, let me tell you what happens to a lot of guys. They get offshore in their 21, their 23-foot center console. Uh-oh, here comes the sailfish, here comes the big dolphin, here comes the wahoo. That night their temperature goes up. You know what they got, don't you? They got blue water fever.
Right.
When a guy gets blue water fever, everybody wants to jump up to boats like this. But let's be realistic, they're not practical for very many people.
No, but there's a way to get out there in a center console in the 33 to 35 foot range that'll carry just as many people as that boat will and get you out and back actually much faster.
Well, much faster, and in a lot of cases much easier, because if the bite's down at Palm Beach, you can trailer down there to it. You can run across to the Bahamas from a close inlet. I tell you, Dave, the big center consoles, my gosh, I remember the first time I saw a 23-foot center console, I thought that was the biggest thing in the world. Now they're 45 all the way up to 50 feet long. But today we're working on the mid-range of big center consoles, the 33 to 35 size.
What I like about this size, 2 outboards is all you need. You know, when you get in the big center consoles, a lot of them are trips, even quad. And I mean, they're expensive to buy, expensive to maintain, they burn a lot of fuel, but in 33 to 35 foot range, twin power is plenty. These boats we're going to run are running 52 miles an hour.
There's no time you're going to go faster than that in the ocean, Dave. It's just not practical. It's great to think about going faster than that, but it's just not practical. And that's where boats like we're looking at today shine. We can overnight in them. We can cross to the Bahamas and stay on board during the night, but we're still small enough to put on the trailer and take home.
It is, and really I'm excited about this episode more than any so far, because this really is what Best Boat is about. The 3 boats we brought, it's every spectrum of the center console world in the 33 to 35 foot. We have the Dusky 33, great hardcore boat. If you're gonna go tournament fishing, if it's just the guys, that is the boat, and they're custom built. Then in the middle, we have the Cobia, which is a good blend between fishing and luxury, where you can take the family, you can go to the islands. And if you do want pure luxury, now you've got the Belzona, which is the Lexus of the center console.
Dave, it's almost a liveaboard. And you know what the bottom line is? If you're looking for a big center console boat, there's a very good chance in today's episode we've got the best boat for you.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Florida Sportsman Best Boat.
I love spending time with my kids outdoors, especially when they're doing something they love. Although I do not actively fish, I like to play my part. By purchasing a fishing license, it supports youth programs, wildlife enforcement, access to fishing, and many more things that allow us to have a safe, fun time outdoors. These are the reasons I do have my Florida fishing license.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This week, we'll be featuring 33 to 35 foot center consoles. Dave and Rick started off with the Dusky 33.
All right, let me ask you something, boat builder. I'm a fisherman. Explain this stepped hull to me. What's the advantage?
Basically what a stepped hull does is it lessens the wetted surface and lets the boat be more efficient with less horsepower.
What you're saying is you've got less planing surface, there's less boat in the water?
Well, it induces air. And as the air comes underneath and gets mixed with the water, you're going to lessen that friction, which is the wetted surface. And that's why you see a lot of boats that are running the stepped hulls right now. You can get a lot of efficiency out of a stepped hull, where on a hull that's solid all the way through with a dead rise may be variable, but it doesn't step up. You need a little bit more horsepower to get the same performance.
I see. You can get this boat further and faster on a 33-foot step hull than you could a hull that maintains all the way back.
Right. All right, Rick, let's talk about some specifics on this Dusky 33.
Let me tell you one specific right away. The heart and soul of a Florida offshore fishing boat is her live well. Without the ability to keep live bait alive, you're lost an awful lot of days offshore. Mike's done a few things with this that I really like. First off, of course, it's round, has 2 pumps in it that blow out 200 gallons an hour. He could really throw some water through there.
All right, Rick, another thing that Dusky has held true to form to over the years, everyone is custom built and you're buying directly from the manufacturer. So my boat's gonna be different from yours. You sit down with the Browns, design the boat that fits your needs. Like this boat we have here today, this out of the 3 we've brought, this is really our tournament boat. This is the boat for hardcore. The guys go out and take the money home.
Well, you're right, Dave. There's 2 kinds of guys in boats. There are guys that want to be as comfortable as they can possibly be, and God love them. That's wonderful. For me, everything you add to a boat is something else I have to maintain and something that can break. If I was going to have Mike and Ralph Brown build me a boat, it would be as hardcore plain as it could be. It's just less I got to take care of. Turn on the fire hose when you get home, you're ready to go fishing the next day.
Right, some of the innovations they have added, which kind of pulls you into the new stuff, the flush mount screens and the new joystick control, especially for a novice boater. Once you get used to this, it'll have you docking the boat like a pro in no time.
I'm not talking about stuff that makes your life easier. You know, I'm talking about stuff that's almost to the point of being frivolous. Everything on this boat has a purpose. You and I have talked about it with every boat we've gone through. Everything's a trade-off. Everything's a compromise, okay? Mike's made very good use of his space on this boat, and everything on this boat is built to stay here and still be going 15 years down the road.
Right, this is a boat that you could easily cross over to the islands. You can take the family out, but really the core of this boat is serious hardcore fishing. You look at the number of rod holders he's installed on this boat. It's got a built-in freezer, built-in refrigerator. It's all business.
How are you going to transport your fish if you stay in the Bahamas for a week? How are you going to carry enough bait? All these things. When you've got a freezer or a refrigerator, that's necessary stuff. That's not fluff stuff added on.
Right, the openness of the boat design too is nice. I dive. You put 6 guys on this boat with all the dive gear. On a lot of boats that are in this same size range, your stuff is laying everywhere. In this boat, you got plenty of room for everybody, all their tanks and all their gear. All right, Rick, up here in the bow, I like the V-shaped seating, and it really makes a nice casting deck, plus the storage that's built into here. So this is a great place for the family to come. You hit to the sandbar, they can all sit up here. It's a great place to go and fish off of. But what I was talking about earlier is, tell people what this is about and why it's so important to have one of these on the boat, especially if you're going to try and kite fish.
Oh my word, kite fishing is, one of these is almost mandatory if you're going to kite fish, Dave. Say you're going to drift this way, okay? You pivot her, you lock it down, you put your kite rod in the center. This may be your long line, this may be your short line. The boat swings and you're going to make a drift the other way, that's no problem, okay? You can hold more rods and manage them. It's not enough to hold a lot of rods if you're always running to get to one, but you can manage them out of here much better than you can out of fixed rod holders.
So you're talking fishing out the front with kites, slow trolling out the back with the rod holders. That's why this boat is really a tournament fishing machine.
That's exactly right. This boat fished 10 lines, no problem. Dave, everywhere you look on this boat, there's evidence that it's a hardcore fishing machine.
Right, you've got 8 rod holders that are on both sides of the gunnel.
You got rod holders in the T-top to increase your spread.
Right, you've got specific rod holders on either side of the helm for sword fishing.
You've got rod holders right here to fish kites off the bow.
Right, you can fight the fish off of the bow and chase him down with this V-shape in the front.
Right, you've got a platform here to stand on. It's not cushioned, it's for your gaff man to hop up here and stick your big wahoo.
Built-in freezer, built-in refrigerator.
It's got it all.
So if hardcore fishing or chasing that tournament trail is what you're looking for, a Dusky 33 may just be the best boat for you.
Stay tuned for this week's Florida Sportsman Best Boat Seminar. This segment is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline 4-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
Welcome back. Here's Dave and Rick with this week's Florida Sportsman Best Boat Seminar.
Rick, on a bright sunny day like today, having a good quality pair of sunglasses is a must.
Dave, I get to teach fishing for Florida Sportsman all the time. And one thing I try to express to people, there's no magic, there's no secret weapons. There's 1,000 little things better. I spend a lot of time on my fly bridge. When I see somebody coming up to help me spot fish, okay, and I look at them and they don't have a pair of top-of-the-line, maximum polarization sunglasses on a day like today, I know I'm pretty much spotting fish by myself. The fishermen need to find a pair that fits their face, gives them the maximum amount of view, and insist on top-of-the-line sunglasses. It's one of 1,000 little things that make you better.
Rick, I use my glasses a little differently. When I'm running shallow water, especially down in the Keys, if I've got good quality sunglasses on, I can see the channel as opposed to the flats, and it'll really keep me out of trouble.
There's a lot of great sunglasses, but before you hit the water, make sure you've got a pair on your face.
All right, Rick, part of Best Boat is helping somebody pick their best boat. This Belzona 327, believe it or not, this boat fishes like a center console. 360-degree fishability, but look at this cabin.
Well, Dave, you know what that means. That means this boat can be 100% self-sufficient. You want to go out in the Abacos where there are no marinas, there are no anything? Here's your flat screen, your air conditioned, okay? You got more amenities down here than I had in my first apartment.
Right, well you have a separate head, separate shower. This is truly a boat that fishes like a center console, but you could take to the islands for 2 or 3 weeks at a time and never need to stop at a port.
You got freezers, you got refrigeration, you've got stereos and televisions and grills and microwaves. You can live on this boat and still fish it like a hardcore boat.
Right, well from the helm back, she is hardcore, because they use the same cockpit design in their 327 as they do their 325 center console. They just added some amenities here to make it nice so you can stay on extended trips.
Oh, that makes it so sweet. It opens up so many possibilities, areas you've never been able to fish before.
Let's look at the rest of this boat and see all the other features that they offer on the 327 Belzona. Well, Rick, the first thing I noticed on the Belzona is the construction. Everything's composite and it's all put together with methacrylate. There's no screws in this boat.
Whoa. Methacrylate what? I'm a fisherman, you're a boat builder, what does that mean?
Methacrylate, it's a bonding compound and it chemically bonds the pieces of fiberglass together. So in other words, this top, this support here, it's all composite, it's all bonded together and it's not coming apart. If this top comes off, it's going to take a major chunk of the boat with it.
You're telling me there's no screws holding the pieces of fiberglass together?
There's none needed. Once the methacrylate bonds it together, it's there for life.
Wow.
And you're not going to have the screws that are going to come loose and go rattling around in the boat, and then you find one later and not know where it came from.
You're not going to have the rust stain from that one piece of bad stainless you got too in your batch of screws.
Well, and to go into that function, if you look at the helm, it just kind of fits the overall design of the boat. All of your electronics are right here in one line, right above the steering wheel, and your door, you enter from the back of the helm rather than the side like most center consoles.
It does two things. First off, you know your cabin's dry, okay? And second off, makes entering much easier while the boat's running than it is if you have to go outside and come in through the side.
Rick, when you look at the profile of this boat, you're going to notice that the windshield faces forward. Normally you only see this on a commercial vessel, but what it'll do, it cuts down the glare and it lets the water run down the windshield instead of around or up.
You know what? The water's not going to stick to that windshield like it will if the angle's this way. It's going to drop straight down. That's going to make a lot of difference in how much your vision's obstructed by salt water.
Right, something you don't normally see, but it just adds to the innovation that Belzona has done.
Dave, so far the Belzona has been 360 degrees of innovations. You step back here behind the helm into the cockpit, it doesn't stop there.
Well, the first thing I see, you've got a built-in grill, and you have a sink. Basically, you have a prep station. You could literally catch your fish, clean it, and grill it right there.
That's what you call fresh fish for dinner.
Absolutely, and then staying with that same thing, Belzona has a unique sliding door on both sides. For me, I dive. Really easy access to the water. For you, you fish. If you happen to catch a big fish,
hey,
easy way to get him in the boat.
Slide that swordfish right through there, baby. Dave, this boat's beautiful at every turn, but they haven't left out the fishermen. We've still got a very adequate 31-gallon live well with a standing pipe to regulate how much water's in your well. You can keep a lot of live baits in here if you manage them properly.
Well, when you want to blend fishing and family together, you take the family out on that long run back to the dock from way offshore, you got a comfortable place to sit to do it.
The most comfortable place on a boat to sit.
And where you're standing, it's a 60-inch long insulated fish box. There's one on either side of the boat.
You can put an awful lot of fish in this boat and keep them cold for a very long time.
If you look at the hatches that are in the cockpit sole, there's no visible hinges. And what I love is the access down here to the systems. The generator's down here, the batteries are down here, all your pumps are down here. They're super easy to get to.
Let me tell you, with today's pump, there's no reason for a live well pump to ruin your day if it goes out. Pop one out, pop another one in. Very easy access to get to them.
Well, what I found is if it's easier to get to it, you're going to maintain it better. If it's hard to get to, it's probably going to end up corroding away. All right, Rick, you know, with the huge cabin and this comfortable bow seating, calling this 327 Belzona a center console fishing boat, it's kind of like calling a Maserati just a car.
Well, you're right, Dave. There's so many features and so many things different about this boat. One of them is the place up here for your girlfriend to lay and sunbathe while you're catching fish.
Well, they've added the fishermen, they've added the family, they've added the fun. It's one boat that can really do it all. So here again, what Best Boat is all about is helping somebody pick the right boat that's best for them. So if you're looking for a boat to do a little bit of everything, take the family out, dive, fish, go to the Bahamas, this 327 is the boat.
And not only go to the Bahamas, live at the Bahamas and do it comfortably.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Florida Sportsman, the source for fishing in the outdoors since 1969. Florida's largest fishing and outdoors magazine. Year-round TV with real-time Florida Sportsman and Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Florida's #1 online resource. Over 8 million page views a month. Live reports from the water every Saturday morning. Hands-on instruction, seminars and demonstrations. Books, charts and more. Become part of the Florida Sportsman community today. When filming for Florida Sportsman Best Boat, the cast and crew stayed at Pirates Cove Resort and Marina in Stuart, Florida. Family owned and operated, featuring 50 renovated rooms with an outstanding restaurant and a full-service 50-slip marina. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This week, we're featuring 33 to 35-foot center consoles.
Well, Dave, out of the 3 boats we've looked at when it comes to size, this one's the queen of the fleet, the 34 Cobia.
It is, but you know what? Either end of the spectrum, we've seen the hardcore Dusky and we've seen the very luxurious Belzona, but if you want to blend those two together, it's the Cobia.
It's not just strictly a center console set up for hardcore fishing. You can have some creature comforts in this boat.
Well, let's go through some of the features of this boat that kind of set it apart so people can get an idea of maybe this is the best boat for them.
Why don't we start at the transom? 2 huge oversized live wells. You know me, it's the heart and soul of any Florida fishing boat. I can't get enough live well.
Right, but then right forward of that, you've got the fold down seat that you see in a lot of boats now. So that way those long runs home are keeping the family happy. It's a nice feature to have.
It's a great place to do it, but look how much room there is in the cockpit. I mean, this boat is a big, roomy, beefy boat.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. It comes from Maverick Boat Company. Maverick, Hughes, Pathfinder, those names are synonymous with hardcore fishing. This boat was designed by fishermen, but they wanted it to be comfortable too for the family. Well, Rick, some other features that the Cobia has, we've got a side entry door here. For diving or for pulling a big fish in, it makes access to the water really, really easy. And then in the floor, you've got 2 big, giant insulated fish boxes.
Well, taken from a short guy trying to get over the transom of a boat, that door really makes it easy. But you know, Dave, we haven't even talked about how far T-tops have evolved. Look at this thing. I mean, not only can you store every rod in the world here, you've got handrails here. You're always going to be out of the rain. You can enclose yourself in isinglass. This thing is absolutely state-of-the-art. Look at how much more spread you get if you run your outriggers out of here.
Well, what I like about a fiberglass hardtop too, you're never going to have to replace this. Canvas, you know, if you get 3 years out of a canvas top, you've done pretty well. Plus, like you said, the outriggers are mounted there, LED lights are mounted there, your speakers. It's just a good place to mount your accessories, but it does offer protection too.
Dave, I tell you what Cobia did. They addressed one of my pet peeves. I can't stand a beautiful boat like this with a cooler slamming back and forth every time you get in rough weather.
Well, if you lift this up, your cooler's built in here, your sink's built in there, and then you've got all your tackle drawers, so everything is right here where you need it.
I tell you what I'd do with this cooler is I'd put ice in the bottom of it and slide a tray in it. That's where my baits would stay. I can't stand bait trays sliding around in a boat.
And it's right where you need it to be, where all the action takes place, right here in the cockpit. Well, Rick, you know, I built boats for a lot of years, and I know how important it is to maintain your boat once you bought it. Access to your systems is very important. In this Cobia, you have access to all your pumps and your sea chest down here, and this whole back end flips up so you can get to your bilge area.
Oh, wow. Can you get to your fuel filters there? I have more trouble with clogged fuel filters than anything else.
They're right here and they're easily accessible.
Dave, this console is gorgeous. It's state of the art. The screens light up like nobody's business. You mind telling me where the on and off knob is?
All right, what you're looking at, it's an aviation style dash. Everything's touchscreen and it's customizable for what you want. You want your charts on this side, you want your depth finder on this side. You can set it up however you want, whether it's daytime, nighttime, and whatever you want to see in front of you.
Gosh, how did the guys navigate going in and out of the Bahamas before we had screens to show us the route through?
An old piece of paper chart and a compass.
Woo! Tough way to go.
Rick, on this Cobia 344, we're talking about blending fishing and fun. They've done a great job on this console. Under here you have a marine head, a sink, you've got a berth that'll sleep too, and there's even rod storage built underneath the berth.
So it's got a berth and rod storage down there.
Yeah, and it's huge. Yeah, all your electronic switches are down there, there's storage. You got 2 easy steps to get down inside the console.
So on a nice night, could you overnight in this boat?
Easily. Rick, this Cobia 344, it's a fishing boat that hasn't forgot the family. You got a lot of seating up here with the chase lounge. You have the U-shaped seating up here in the front for the family.
Let me tell you, my daughter would flip over that. She grew up on the laying in front of the old center console. What a great place for the kids to sit.
There's one more innovation that you haven't seen yet.
Dave, you know, I really feel like I'm growing, Dave. I'm getting taller in this business all the time.
You're standing on a platform
Oh,
that actually comes
it's
out
not
of the
me?
floor. No. The platform becomes a casting deck, or it'll go all the way up to make a cocktail table.
Well, listen, Shorty, I think that's an excellent innovation, and I'm going to have that installed on all the boats.
If you want to prowl cobalt blue waters miles offshore with a boat that can still be trailered and doesn't require a full-time captain, a center console in the 33 to 35 foot range may be the best boat for you.
All right, so today we looked at 3 boats. We looked at the Dusky, the Cobia, and the Belzona, which really showed you the full spectrum of 33 to 35 foot center consoles.
Dave, they were 3 boats, but they did a lot more than 3 things. There was a lot of different lifestyles incorporated in those 3 boats. I tell you, if we're here at Pirates Cove in Stuart, Florida, there may be more cases of blue water fever caught right here than anywhere else on the coast.
Rick, you're right. All 3 of these boats could get you out to blue water, take you diving, take the family, go fishing, and have a lot of fun. We saw the 327 Belzona, which is the smallest boat, but the most luxurious. Then we saw the Dusky 33, hardcore fishing boat. And then the largest was the Cobia 34, which really was a blend between the 2 boats.
Dave, you're right. And if you're looking for a 33 to 35 foot center console, somewhere in there, I'll lay odds is the best boat for you.
For more information, go to floridasportsman.com, go to our boating page. Thank you for watching.
Be sure to join us next week when we cover 20 to 22 foot bay boats on Florida's Sportsman Best Boat. Each month, turn to Florida Sportsman for the best in boating and fishing coverage.